right. Thank you very much, Carmen, for those news headlines. As I said, our Frank Talk tonight is with Geoff Makhubo, who is the mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg for the ANC. So, Makhubo, thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday night.
Thanks for inviting me, Cheche. Good evening to the viewers, sir.
Wonderful. All right, let's start with on Thursday. You seem to have been very miffed at all, indeed, by the Speaker's decision to postpone the meeting to next Thursday, with the understanding that he wants to seek legal advice about the interpretation of what would constitute a majority that would then elect a mayor. Just explain to me what your difficulty with that postponement was before we get into other issues.
The Speaker issued a notice to us as councillors, calling us to a meeting with the agenda item to elect a mayor in terms of the Municipal Structures Act.
Yes.
So he thought he's ready. I mean, he would have done his homework. He called the IEC. He would have known what majority means as a presiding officer. Now, he showed really incompetence in postponing the meeting on the basis of majority. But we know the truth. The truth is that they were buying time. They wanted to go and re-engage the EFF. That's why the EFF supported them, because they together were saying, no, we don't need to elect today. Yeah. We can postpone. So it had nothing to do with majority. He had legal advice. I researched through their legal advisors after that. But are you guys so incompetent? They were very, very unhappy themselves.
Yeah.
So it was a political move. It was not a legal move at all.
Yeah. So tell me about the interpretation, because he must have explained what he means, that he needs to take legal advice. What interpretation are we talking about? Is there a new way in which the mayor will be elected, different from how the outgone mayor was elected 3 years ago?
That's what we put on record, that majority is majority. He just took 5 minutes, he asked for 5 minutes break to consult. He consulted his legal advisors. When he came back, he says there's a difference in interpretation. He's adjourning the meeting till next week to get external legal advice. So we thought, he didn't even give us time to engage or ask questions or anything like that. He says, it's my ruling, I'm going. So it was clear that he was not even prepared to engage. He was not even prepared to seek help from us, that majority is majority, 50% plus one.
There is an understanding that if there are 3 candidates, like there are now apparently, right, that majority may mean that one of the 3 actually doesn't get 50 plus 1, or in fact the highest may actually not be 50 plus 1. Somebody must get 40, another 30, another 20 to make up the 100. And there's an interpretation that says, no, then there must be a runoff. Do you agree with that interpretation, that if there's 3 candidates and none of them gets more than 50%, right, then there must be a runoff in terms of the highest 2? Is that your understanding?
The prescripts of the MSA dictate that if first round the person does not get 50% plus 1, candidates gets 50% plus 1, then the least voted for candidate falls off. Then we have a runoff of the last 2. So when we inquired with the others, he claims that it's at this second stage that he doesn't know whether it's let's say 20% of council abstains. And then people get 45, 35. Can there still be a mayor or what? I mean, we thought.
Or there's a tie. What if there's a tie on number 2 and 3?
Well, on number 2 and 3.
And number 1 is under 50. Do you know what happens?
But how does it happen that you have a tie? You mean like 25, 20, 23, 23?
Yeah, a tie that is...
No, you can't have... Unless you say 30, 30, 40, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. What I'm saying is that where the last 2, which are supposed to be discarded if there was just 1, the last 2 are equal, and then, you then run the thing again. It seems to me that those kind of things the scenarios need to be clarified, and it looks like even you are not sure.
Well, it's quite clear. I know that even the final, if the last 2, it's 50-50. You toss a coin.
You toss a coin? Really?
Yeah, you toss a coin. You can elect
the mayor. This is the one who's going.
Well, heads, tails, and then...
It's worse than idols, man.
No, but you vote and vote and vote. So I think for me, he knew what the interpretation was. He just bailed out to allow the Democratic Alliance
and the EFF to come up with a deal. So your understanding is that they're deadlocked. The EFF and the DA, they are deadlocked on how to proceed.
Well, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I know that they didn't have an agreement then.
On who must be the mayor?
No. On what they needed to do between themselves.
I
Because
see.
remember, they supported each other, the whole country.
All along, yeah.
So if media reports are anything to go by,
Yeah.
there's trading that's needed. So, but I don't want to get in there.
Yeah, but is the ANC now ready to take the city back?
Well, that's why we insisted in the vote on Thursday.
Yeah.
We wanted to vote because the African National Congress had done its work and we were ready to go voting, and we thought that we'll win.
Yeah. So you are tired of the opposition bench?
No, we played our part for 3 years in opposition.
Yeah.
When the vacancy occurred in the city and Herman Mashaba resigned,
Yeah.
we would contest like any other party
Yeah.
that seeks to gain power. So
It must have been a difficult thing. You are accustomed to power, especially in the city of Joburg. In fact, I don't even think you believed you could lose power in any way until the last minute, and so you're wired around governing, not opposing, right? So what were the lessons? What can you tell me if I were to vote for? I mean, obviously you want to be voted to be in power, not opposition. But what can you tell the citizens of Joburg what you did as opposition now for the last 3 years? Give me 2 or 3 big, achievements of the ANC in this time. Did you just fold your arms and wait for the DA to fail, or did you do something constructive with your time in the opposition benches?
We spent the first few months adjusting and replanning on what to do to adjust to the new conditions. We said then where to from here, because then we have to oppose, we understand. Let's see what the DA brings and what is that we're opposing. So the first thing they did was to scrap like the 6 free kiloliters of water, a universal free 6 kiloliters of water. So we went on a campaign in the townships to sensitize people about the scrapping of the 6 kiloliters of water, 6,000 liters of water.
You scrapped it all together?
Altogether.
So that everybody, even the indigent, had to pay?
Well, what they say is that you have to apply.
Yeah.
But we know that the application rate and the system in the city is not geared up for applying for ESP, expanded social package. In fact, the restriction is low. The offices don't work in the townships. So that's why during our time, from Tata Masondo's time, we said, let everyone get 6 free kiloliters, give back to even those who pay.
Yeah.
And then from there, because it's an inclining block tariff, the more you use, the more you pay. So at any point in time, it will resubsidize each other. Yeah. So we went into campaigns in the township. We adopted what we call the 4 pillars to say, let's fortify where we work, our wards, because we won the majority of wards, 84 wards. And then we're campaigning, mass mobilization, we're campaigning actively in those wards. Listening campaign, we went on listening campaign. Where did we go wrong?
Yeah.
And then, communities were very brutal with us. They told us where to change. And then, of course, when Josie at Work was cancelled and other programs that the outgone mayor called the vanity projects of Comrade Pakstow, we went on an overdraft to say, what is the response of communities to that, and what is the new government bringing to replace what's been cancelled? So we did a lot of work. We did, the finances of the city for a longest time. They were in a decline. So we had a huge campaign around the finances of the city. Yeah,
but the finances of the city, in terms of the current rating by Moody's, seems to have been given a clean bill of health. Is that do you disagree with that?
Well, if you look at JJ, when we left in 2016, we had cash balances of 5.6 billion rands in the bank.
Okay.
City Power was cash positive. Joburg Water was cash positive. Collections were at 94%. And you compare to today, collections are at 89%. The highest cash levels is what we see now. They've gone back to 5.6%, 5.6 billion. But City Power, which is a cash cow of the city, it's cash negative. It's losing
like
money.
ESCOM.
Is operating more like that.
All right.
Yeah, but so the whole governance, there's almost an institutional collapse in the city, and we've been raising those issues.
All right, I want to come to that now. After the break, I want you to tell me a little bit about what you heard from the people, because I'll be interested to know what are the 2 or 3 things you believe you heard from this listening campaign, and so how are you going to take them if you are to be re-elected into power? How are you going to take those forward?